since we last spoke, I talked to your twin, Ariel Helwani, and that
Yeah.
was such a trip.
Yeah, tell me, what was that? That's a big fish, man.
It was a huge fish. So I listen to the show all the time and enjoy getting
Yeah.
his takes on things. I try and develop, and I've learned a lot through his style of interviewing, how he approaches it, and I kind of study what he does because I think he's really good at interviewing people, asking good questions, and being a good journalist. And so he has the Q&As at the end of his Wednesday episodes, and I'd put in the odd question for him and try and make sure it's thoughtful, not ask every week. And over time, he started to notice on Twitter, I'd comment on some of his stuff, and then I just
Wow,
kind of
that's
reached
awesome.
out and was like, "Hey, like I get you're busy, you're being a host of shows of different events and stuff, and so I get you might not have the time, but it would be an honor to try and hone my skills and ask you questions about how you interview people." And he was like, "Let's run it." And so a few times of trying to go back and forth, find times, and he texted me on the day of and was like, "Hey, could you do it at 12 o'clock today?" And it was like in 48 minutes. So I had to message him and go, "Hey, like, are we able to run this? Like, I haven't prepared, but like, I'd like to do this interview. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Might not get it again." And we ended up making it work.
That's amazing, man. Yeah, that's really, really cool. Especially that you stayed so persistent, and he noticed. Man, that's great that he gave you a great time, a chance to shine. To really get somebody that's like big in our industry.
It shows that, like, when it comes down to it, giving me the opportunity, I'm not some big name. He's not doing it because he's going to get 10 million followers on Twitter or something. He's doing it to show support and show love for the next generation of potential interviewers.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that like you're not going to be liked by everyone, and if you accept that, then you can always be who you are. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I'm sure if Ariel rubs some people the wrong way, that's okay. I mean, that's life, man. I probably rub a lot of people the wrong way too, but I'm sure a lot of people. He has a huge fan base, so he must be doing something right to get that big of a fan base. And when it comes to the fighters, like I don't follow the drama that he has with a lot of fighters, but a lot of fighters seem to like him as well. So sometimes it's a two-way street. Who knows what happened? I don't know. I don't follow all those stories, but if he's true to himself, he's gonna have people that don't like him, and if he's gonna have people that love him at the same time. That's just part of being an adult.
Yeah, it's a scaling problem too, right? When you're dealing with the people within your family, like that's not a lot of people. But then when you start to deal with 1,000 people, 10,000 people, the odds that one person is going to dislike you and just for no good reason, that's going to scale upwards. And then when you have people watching your videos and it's 1 million people, the odds that there's going to be a group of people who don't like you is going to be higher. But I think that that's something our brains aren't really adapted to because we're used to interacting with people. You're not used to those comments where now you're starting to take it personally.
Yeah, exactly. And look, how social media is not that old either. And a lot of people have haters. Like, let's say, I don't know, for example, let's say Kim Kardashian. She's like a mega star on social media. How many people love her? Like, she has like one of the most biggest, largest following. And how many people in the world hate her, And then she's just being herself, really. And I feel like Ariel has millions of fans. She's going to have a couple 100,000 haters. It's normal. Exactly. I feel like it comes with having a lot of fans.
Yeah. But I find him super inspirational, and the way that I feel like he interviews so many fighters is different than what you get at the press conferences. And it's not that the press conferences aren't like valuable, but his approach of like really getting to the heart of a person is so much more genuine and sincere and gets me really invested in fighters and what's going on.
Yeah, I agree. Like I was telling you with you when you interviewed me last time, it's like a breath of fresh air when you ask me questions that aren't just so superficial, and that you try to get your fans and my fans, because we're working together, to get to know me beyond just, oh, how many fights do you have? Oh, yeah, okay, you won your last fight. Okay, tell us about your reaction. Okay, blah, blah, blah. But what else is going on in your life? How do you develop this? How do you do that? How do you think about the situation? You get into my thoughts. And I feel like Ariel does that really, really well, too. Right? That's why he's so big, because he asks the questions that most regular journalists don't ask.
The human questions, the real questions that I feel like we want the answer to. And that's why I was so interested in sitting down with you, was because I really like walked away from our conversation being like, this person has a really strong philosophy, like something that grounds you beyond just the day-to-day, whatever's new and shiny, the newest iPhone. Like you have a way of thinking about things that grounds you. And I find that so many people don't have that, so that when they see the new iPhone commercial, they're like, oh, I need to get that because that's what the commercial is telling me I need, rather than being able to zoom out and look at how you impact your loved ones, how you impact your community, how you impact your fans, how you understand kind of your role in the world in a different way than I find other people do.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of would like talk about different things like that's my philosophies, then always answer the same basic questions, basically. So that's why it's interesting. I love getting on here with you or with Ariel too. Actually, he always asks me really in-depth questions, and he tries to get a different angle, so people get to know me more personally and what it's like to be around me. Around being my friends, but even though we're not close, right? So I find that it's a better approach to interviewing fighters, and I feel like people who go down that route to personalize athletes will have a bigger following in the end as well.